Kazakh national handcrafts make up the precious roots of steppe culture. They provide an inside look into nomadic lives. The art of the nation who once lived upon the great steppe is pictured here through wood and iron processing, jewelry and felting. Many programs modernize the culture of hunting, falconry, horse training and racing. Take a look inside the Kazakh culture on the program KazArt.
Ал енді мынау сабақ бізде жан жануарлар болғаннан кейін тақырып.
Because today's topic is animals, kids, let's have a look at the horses. That they have a unique way of racing and a unique position. All of them don't move the same way, correct? So then let's make their movements distinct. For example, here you showed the herder throwing the lasso on a green. It looks very good.
Sen көрсеткен екенсің, тамаша.
Nurgalim Isabayev was born in 1974 in the Almaty region, in a village called Jibek, in a family of teachers. From 1988 until 1992, he attended the Almaty Republic College of Fine Arts. In 1997, he graduated from the Kazakh National Academy of Fine Art. And that year, he received the main prize at the Jigir Young Artists Contest. In 2008, by the president's request, he participated in the creation of the Russian sculptor Dashi Namdakov's Tameris and Otan Ana statues. From 1997, Nurgalim teaches art at the Temirbek Jurgenov's Kazakh National Art Academy, a boarding school and a college.
Өнер деген қанға бітеді деген мен мойындаймын, өйткені әкем де шебер адам болған.
I acknowledge that the urge to create art is in my blood. I say this because my father was a craftsman as well. He worked with iron and wood and leather to create items so close to the Kazakh reality. I followed and watched his work since I was a child. He brought my first batch of Play-Doh, and from there my interest in molding only increased.
Әкем алып берді, соны жасып, содан қызығушылық бастады.
A village kid who molded Play-Doh into animals, Nurgalim joined the Republican School of Arts for Kids in Almaty in 1988. Here he learned the basics of imaging crafts and moved on to sculpture. In 1992, he got accepted to the Kazakh National Art Academy and received classes from the founding father of Kazakh national sculpture, Khachimjan Nauruzbayev, and also the famous sculptor Bakhajan Abishev.
Мен көбінесе мына жан жануарларды анималистика дейді ғой, анимализм. Жан жануарларды өте жақсы көретін жасаған.
I mainly work in what is called the animalistic style. I like drawing animals a lot. Having noticed that, back then the professor KazArt Soranshaliyev suggested that I work in a small statuary, and he saw that I had the abilities needed for that. Looking back, I did have a connection with historical worlds, the heroes galloping on horses. And I started soul-searching, and I dived deeply into reading books.
Өзім қарасам, батырларға, атпен, сондай бір тарихи дүниелерге жақын екем. Оның үстіне өзімде жаңа кітап, нелерді оқып, жаңағындай еңбектерді соған байланыстырып, зерттеп, оны бір жай ойдан жасай салмай, ол кім болған, не болған, қалай болған, оның киімдері.
Imagining them, though, wasn't enough. I needed to know who they were, what they wore, what horses they rode, what sabers they had, their physique. All of these things brought me to the thought that I had to relate to my heroes, and it helped me to shape my individual style.
Жақын дүниелерді сезе бастадым. Сондай дүниемен мен сол осы өзімнің бір қолтаңбама келдім деп ойлаймын.
In 1995, the advent of the Jubilee of the Great Abai, Khachimjan Nauruzbayev organized a special contest in Almaty. In that contest, the student of the academy, Nurgalim Isabayev, came out as a winner and was awarded with the declared prize.
Ол жерде мен бір батырды да ешкімде жасағам жоқ. Соны архаизм кезінен қолдас жаңа өзінің бұқаның үстінде отырған.
From that contest, I came up with a figure of an ancient Batyr, an archaic character with a bow similar to the warriors of the Turkic armies. I didn't mean to create the statue to win anything. I created it because something deep inside of me wanted to be expressed. I was passionate about that sculpture, and I think it came out right. I felt acknowledged when the professionals and the elderly people gave high praise to that work. All the while, I was a simple student.
Мамамдар, ақсақалдар бағалап өнерімді. Сол бірінші орын алған кезде, сол кезде мен бір өзім бір жетістікке жеткендей болып студент болсам да.
The works that show a particular tender love to the homeland and to its village where one grows up playing is a separate genre altogether. Observing the works devoted to the village-scapes inevitably conveys the author's attempts to revisit his childhood. One could say that The Shepherd is a result of the author's yearnings for his childhood, his village, his simple life where he used to be himself. This happy, joy-brimming kid figurine hugging two newborn lambs can definitely be called the author's best.
Мен бұрын тек қана сол жаңағы анимализм, сол жан-жануарлар, атпен, батырлармен сондай жұмыстарды көп жасайтын.
Previously, I only worked in the animalistic style, creating animals and batyrs. With time, I started creating portraits as well. As a painter, an artistic person, I decided that I wanted to try myself at that. I figured it was my artistic duty as well. I knew I wanted to create portraits from a certain perspective. In the beginning, I created drafts. Only after that, I started working on the main parts. I remember thinking about delving into portraits before, but now I am fully immersed in the craft.
Кейін белшеше кірісіп, сол тақырыпқа да кәдімгідей шындап жаңағы білек сыбанып кірістім.
Raised on the Western and European school of thought, Nurgalim wants to infuse his works with the features distinct and innate to the Kazakh realm. He doesn't stop at the superficial similarities, but dives deep into the identity of the nation to expand his message.
жұмыс істеген кезде мына ұлттық тарихи осындай тақырыптарға көп көңіл бөлем.
When I work, I focus on the national subjects a lot. This work here doesn't just show a horse. It races, it moves, it is dynamic and flexible. What I wanted to show here is a desperate Batyr escaping from a siege.
Жангешті дейді ғой, әлгі әскер қоршауда қалған кезде қоршауды бұзып шығатын, жанын қиятын батыр.
Back in those days, people used to call them salseri, handsome knights. Salseris used to fight bare-chested. Bare from the waist up, these warriors brought the enemy to surrender by a single sign of their valor. They managed to diminish the aggressive behavior and win over wars. That is what I meant to show.
Жеңіліске ұшырап жататын жағдайлар болған екен. Соны осы жерде көрсеткім келген.
One more distinguishing factor to Nurgalim's works are the rich details that lie in their high ethnographic value. The lost and vanishing traditions find new life and representation in the works in this talented sculptor. For example, one of the most famous works called Kelin, the Bride. How would one know how to wear the traditional headpiece called a saukele? Having researched the subject in museums and archives, he was able to recreate the scientifically correct image, and he proved himself as a great sculptor. In the tradition of following the Soviet realism, Nurgalim created a plethora of outstanding works. As a painter in his future works, he paid a lot of attention to the correspondence between the real world and the world of his imagination. Nurgalim Isabayev is one of the sculptors who pays a lot of attention to the truthfulness of his images. Every piece follows the strict academic rules of depiction. Take the recent bust of Suinbai Aranoli. In order to recreate Suinbai's clothes and headpiece, even the ornaments on it, Nurgalim conducted extensive research into the National Archive, going through every available piece of information that could help him to create a historically correct and truthful image of the poet. The sculptor takes his portrait works very seriously. He strives to recreate his characters with documental precision. His facial sculpture, the temper, even mimics the meticulously traced and merged anthropological specifics of the Kazakh nationals. One of the most fruitful sculptures of the historical figures, Nurgalim has a lot to offer the craft.
Қоладан құйылған жұмыстарға портреттерді айтып кетсек, былтырғы Сүйінбай Аронұлы ақынымыздың 200 жылдығында.
To mention my bronze and portrait works, last year is the advent of Suinbai's 200-year anniversary. I inaugurated his bust in his home village of Karakastak. Before that, in the Almaty region, in Bisagash, I molded the statue of Mustafa Öztürk, the person who brought Taekwondo competitions to Kazakhstan. These are a couple of the bigger works. I also have a set of works that I presented to the city of Paris. Those were created with the national motifs to them. Those depict the times when the Sak tribes and the Turkic nomads traveled the vast steppes, led by the great Attila Batur.
Көсемі болған Европаны тізе бүктірген Атилла батырларымыздың тұлғалары.
For example, Suinbai's bust was exhibited at the Kazakh ITIS contest in Ankara, in Turkey this summer. It was Nurgalim's first work to be shown abroad. Since then, a year after, the bust was moved and installed in the park named after Suinbai, Aranoli.
Nurgalim Исабаевты мен бұрыннан жақсы білемін. Бірге жұмыс істеп келе жатырмыз қанша жылдар.
I've known Nurgalim Isabayev very well and for a long time. We've been working together for a very long time. Nurgalim has always been this intellectual, well-wishing, well-read, and light-hearted person. And you can actually see this in his works. He prefers to work in verite. However, in drawing, he includes cubism, modernism, and abstraction. Nurgalim reaches the very serious levels of professionalism and realism, and one can see this in his works as well.
Бағытында Nurgalim профессионалдық өте жоғары деңгейде шығармашылық жұмыстар көрсетеді бізге.
To convey a particular character right, a sculptor has to spend a lot of time researching his subject. The ability to manipulate his collected materials gives the creator this freedom of self-expression. In his works, Nurgalim very skillfully incorporates aluminum, natural stones, brass, and cast iron.
Жалпы біз мынандай жұмыстарды пластилиннен ғана жасамаймыз, ол рабочий.
Generally, this sort of work is made out of Play-Doh only. Play-Doh serves as a draft. After that, we create a cast and we use it to pour aluminum, brass, and cast iron into it. Very often, the statues are transferred to rock and wood. For example, the aluminum statues take up silvery. They're very flexible and graceful structures. Brass, on the opposite side, allows for more complicated manipulations and makes the statues appear noble, grand, and intricate. Monuments and design interior pieces look particularly good in brass. On top of that, it is easy and pleasant to work with.
Интерьерный жұмыстарды көріністері әдемі, сосын қолдануы да қолайлы.